Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. I just wanted to start a new reading vlog. If you have watched my previous reading vlog, you know my week did not last week or this week did not go as planned. I actually got really sick and came down with a stomach bug for like 24 hours. I'm still recovering. It is Friday. Yesterday I got a little bit of reading done. I was battling with a lot of I just wasn't feeling good. My stomach was off and but I did wind up making some progress. And later this morning, I did finish one of my reads. So I do have technically a 3-day weekend because I took today off, and I will definitely be better by Monday. But I wanted to make this a more relaxed reading vlog because I unexpectedly went home and I really can't plan this weekend because everything's at school. I'm just going to take this weekend for myself and relax. This month is super crazy with my cousin's wedding and a bunch of Christmas planning I have to start doing. So this weekend is going to be a mix of between reading a lot and also crafting. So I'm going to dive into my newest read, which is The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Goo. I picked like 7 books. I'm not going to read all 7 books, but just books that I would like to tackle in a quicker time frame. And I know nothing about this book other than it's a contemporary read by Maureen Goo. I really liked her first one that I read. It was an arc that I read over the summer. And I really liked that one. It was with the K-pop star. I think it was called Somewhere Only We Know. And this follows Clara, and she gets into a little bit of trouble and winds up having to work at her father's food truck. And romance and drama and self-discovery, I'm sure, shoes. So when I get a little bit more of an update, I'll be sure to tell you guys my thoughts. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Do a small update. I did wind up reading a little bit of The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Goo. I'm on page 18, which isn't that far, but basically follows this girl named Clara. She lives in California. Her dad owns a food truck, and she's kind of like a prankster. She loves pulling pranks. She's kind of the class clown. She's a group of friends that she really, really likes. And really, I don't know that much. I know that her dad works in a food truck. I know she's a very, very big prankster. I know she has a group of friends. She has a little bit of a family drama. Her dad works in a food truck, but her mom is like a social media influencer that she like never sees. It's literally all that I have. But I really do like that she's that she is the class prankster, because whenever you read books, YA contemporaries, it's always a guy that is the class prankster and like the class clown and pulls pranks. So I really like that Clara is in that role because I don't think it's very common to see girls in that role, and I think it's interesting. I'll be curious to see where the book goes. Right now it's just kind of like a slice of life. She's campaigning to be prom queen, which she thinks is kind of a joke. But yeah, that's all I know. I know that eventually the food truck comes into play, but I don't really know why, how or why. And I know at the end of the summer, she's supposed to go visit her mom, which she's really excited about. Her and her dad kind of have a relationship that's kind of like Gilmore Girls. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading and let you guys know what I think. I'm also watching some booktube videos, Reagan specifically. So I will talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here, I'm back. I did make a little bit more progress. I'm now on page 38 in The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Goo. I got up to page 38 on it, and I will say now that I understand how this book is going to go, or at least the basic premise. Basically, Clara got into a bit of trouble, and now she has to work in her father's fruit truck with someone she is not that excited to be working with. She's definitely a prankster, I will say that, but there's a reasoning why she's a prankster, and I think that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I love how she got into this mess, and I love how that happened. So I'm really intrigued to see how this book going. It's a very, very fast-paced read, which I'm really liking. I said I've been having a little bit of problem focusing on things recently. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to dive back in and go back to watching some booktube videos. And I'll catch you guys up when I make a little bit more progress. Bye. Just checking back in. It's almost 1:30. And I did wind up making a little bit more progress on The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Goo. I'm now on page 74. It's definitely a very, very quick pace read. Very much a summer read. But the boy has been introduced, which I really like, and his name is funny to me because I'm a theater person. His name is Hamlet, or the potential love interest. I really like the dynamics between the girls. because normally you only ever see girl relationships when they're really, really strong or when they're enemies, and you never see like them become something else, or you see them go from acquaintances to being friends. But these girls really hate each other, so I'll be curious to see where they don't like each other. So I'll be curious to see at the end of this book like what their relationship is like. But I'm really liking the food truck as like a setting. I normally like books that take place in the summer with a job element. And this definitely is job element. And I'm really hoping that this book is just a quick read, but I'm really enjoying it and does have a lot of elements of self-discovery. As I've chatted about previously, it does discuss like, it talks about family drama and stuff like that, but it just deals with a lot of topics. Um, and right now, it's not like a heavy story, which I'm really liking, but it could become a heavy story. But I really did like her other books, so I'm equally liking this one as well. Small check in. I am really enjoying this book. I don't think it's my favorite contemporary of all time, but I really do like the setting. And I've said this before, especially a lot in the summer, but I love when contemporary books deal with like a lot of like self-discovery, because I think that makes the books like more richer and more engaging, and I love how characters change. And I'm really hoping that by the end of this book we will see a big difference in Clara, because right now she's not super likable, and you have a couple of characters that are poking at her dad and this new girl that she's forced to work with, and this boy named Hamlet, who just are subtly seeing things about her that she may not like about herself or she doesn't notice about herself. So I'm really liking that dynamics, and I'm really liking the situations that they're being placed in, because it's super interesting. So I'm definitely going to keep reading, but it's definitely like a very fast paced read, and that's really what I'm in the mood for right now. So back to reading I go. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm back. I just wanted to do a small update. I did get up to page 130, is The Way That You Make Me Feel by Maureen Goo. I'm really enjoying this book. It's super interesting because the romance in this book is really not the forefront of the story. It's very much about self-discovery, and it's very much about Clara and her friendships and about her relationship with her dad. The romance is still present, and it may get like more intense as the book goes on, but it's really about Clara overall, and I'm really liking that. She's a very different type of character than I've ever read. She can be very unlikable, but I don't not like reading about her. Sometimes when I read about unlikable characters, they're just really hard. It's hard for me to get in their head, and it's hard for me to enjoy reading from their point of view. I think she's a fun character, and that's why I'm liking reading it. And it's like a very, very quick paced read. I said this earlier in the vlog. I'm not feeling my best, but I'm feeling a lot better than I was. And this always happens when I'm not feeling well. I always read like really easy to read, which is what I read yesterday and what I read today. But I am really liking it. So I'm going to go back to reading and check in. I would love to tackle this book today. I think it's very, very doable. And I really don't have a lot of massive plans for this weekend. So I'm just going to take you along on my reading and recovery journey. And I hope you guys like that. But talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. I just wanted to do a quick update. I got up to page 137, and another element of this book has been introduced, and it is an element of some type of competition. I love that. If I like two things in YA contemporary novels, well, three things. It's a fun job setting, a list of some type, or a competition. If your contemporary novel has any of those three things or multiple of those three things, I am totally game for your book. So I'm really enjoying that in this book, and I'm really excited to see how it continues. I'm really liking the girl dynamics in this book as well, the friendship dynamics. I think that's being like super interesting. And yeah, I'm really liking this book. I might even like this book more than the other one, but so far it's a very, very solid. Sorry here, I'm back. I did make a little bit more progress on The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Goo. I'm now on page 193. This book is very interesting. The romance is becoming more apparent. I like how these characters are really different. It's also a very diverse read. It takes place in Los Angeles, but there's a lot of different diverse characters in it, a lot of different diversity, and a lot of different backgrounds. a lot of different types of characters as well that I'm really enjoying. But it really is about self-discovery, and I really like that. I like that in a strong contemporary. I like the job aspect. I like the competition aspect. I like the, mortal enemies to friends trope that I'm seeing, and I'm just really liking it. It's a very, very fast-paced read. The setting is really, really compelling. And I really don't want to put it down. It's a very, very fast-paced read. The romance is growing on me, but it definitely focuses more on self-discovery aspects, which is something that I'm really liking. And I think I might actually prefer this book to her previous one that I've read. And I still have one more that I have to read. But so far, I really approve of it. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. It's just about to be 7 o'clock. And I did make a bunch more progress on The Way You Make Me Feel. I'm growing to really like this character. I really like Clara. I think she's so interesting. This book is like super different than other books that I've read recently. And it's hit the climax where her world is about to go chaotic. And that's always the part when the character changes the most. So I'm really excited. I'm about 50 pages left, so I'm definitely going to read the rest of it tonight. But it was such a fun read, so engaging, such a quick read. Something that kind of just kept my mind on it, and I really liked it. So I'm going to go and read the end, and I'll come back in and check in and let you guys know what I'm going to read next. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. It's about to be 9 o'clock, and I did wind up finishing The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Goo. I thought this book was a really fun read. Definitely like a light read, and I've been reading. It just was nice to just read a lighter read. But I thought the ending was really interesting. I thought that the book had a lot of like smaller plot elements, and I wish that they would have like tied together a little bit more cleanly. But it was a really nice story. I thought that it focused a lot on self-discovery, which I always like. And I really did like the romance elements. Definitely wasn't the only point of the story, but you definitely did see Clara change throughout this, and I really like that. There was a lot of elements in this story that were like subtle points, and I think that like they just kind of got dropped a little bit. Like a couple of plot points in the middle just kind of got dropped. I really like the relationship between her and her and her dad, and her mom was really interesting. I like the friendship dynamics. I love the working elements. Like I like the job. The food truck was so interesting. I like the competition elements, and the romance was really, really fun. So I wound up giving this book like four stars. I think I liked, I don't know which one I liked more. I definitely liked these characters a lot. And it was just super fun. It was just a super fun read. I like the diversity of it. It just dealt with a lot of interesting topics. I will definitely read more by this author in the future. I think I have one more book of hers that I still need to read. But it impressed me. So I'm going to go choose my next read, and I'm going to let you guys know what that is next. So I did wind up choosing my next read, and it is a little bit of a departure, but I did decide to pick up Crazy Rich Asian by Kevin Kwan. My friend Shannon gifted me these books like a couple of weeks ago. I just saw her recently, and she really liked it. And again, I'm in the mood for something light and fun. I'm really not doing anything this weekend, so I know that it's a very, very fast read too. And after this, I might actually watch the movie because I heard the movie's pretty good. But yeah, I am gonna go read this as I'm watching 4 Weddings and a Funeral, which is my watching plan. So I'm not gonna read a whole lot tonight, but I will at least like start it. And I'll probably update you guys tomorrow. But yeah, that is my plans. I am doing pretty good on my reading game. I didn't mention this earlier, but normally when I work from home, when I go home for the weekend, I normally have a lot of work to do. But because I left work with like nothing because I was so sick and I wasn't feeling well and I was throwing up and all that stuff, I literally brought no work home with me, nothing to grade, which means I'm going to get a lot of reading done for sure because I really have nothing else to do other than rest. And I'm also going to do some crafting. So we're going to see how many books I could tackle because literally all my stuff for work is at my job. So I'm going to go watch 3 Weddings and a Funeral and read some Crazy Rich Asians, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit for another update. Bye. Hey guys, Lori here. I'm back. It is Saturday, and I did wind up doing a bunch of crafting. I filmed some videos, all that fun stuff, and I did wind up reading about 23 pages of The Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This I feel like is going to be a very, very interesting and compelling read and very, very fast read. But I've read like the first 2 chapters. The first chapter was set in the past, and this set is in the future. Basically, it follows this girl named Rachel and her boyfriend Nick, and Nick wants to take her back to Singapore to meet his family. Little does Rachel know his family is like rich, like loaded. I don't really need to say anymore because this is like a major motion picture that I'm sure you all have seen. But I don't really read a lot of like books like this. But when I was younger, I was really obsessed with books like The Gossip Girls and The A-List and high fashion books like that, like The Devil Wears Prada. So I'm hopeful I'll have similar vibes to that. And I do like romances and I do like diverse stories. So I'm hopeful that I like it. I'm only 23 pages in, but I hope to make some progress as I'm watching some Christmas movies and just relaxing. And I'll check back in every once in a while when I'm in, and I'll check in when I'm on page 50 and let you guys know my thoughts. Talk to you guys in a bit. Here, it's about to be 4 o'clock, and I'm just checking back in. I'm watching a bunch of old Christmas movies and just reading. And I did get up to page 65 in Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I'm really liking this book. It's very complicated because there was like a lot of different characters, but it does focus on Rachel and Nick, and then it follows everyone, all of his other family members, and they're all meeting up. But it's like It's really interesting. I'm really liking learning about this culture because I think it's so interesting and it's definitely high class, and I'm really enjoying that. And I just like that everyone's in everyone's business. I'm from a big Italian family, so everyone's always in my business, but it's just I love the ostentatiousness of it. But yeah, I'm excited to see when they actually interact with Rachel and when they meet Rachel, what they think. But yeah, I'm gonna dive back into the read and keep reading. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Lori here. I'm just checking back in. Sorry the lighting's really bad. I just don't feel like getting up. But I did want to making a little bit more progress on Crazy Rich Asians. I'm now on page 120. This book, surprisingly, is a very fast-paced read, but it's a read that you have to pay really close attention to because you're coming into this read kind of in the middle of a story. So every single time you're in like a character's chapter, you're getting a lot of information about that character. But the way this book is written is like like every chapter is told from one person's point of view, but in that person's chapter you get like other points of view. So it's really not first person, it's more like omniscient point of view, like third person narrative, um, which is interesting. But it reminds me a lot of like the A-List Society books or like Gossip Girl. It's just very interesting. It's like a very, very fast paced read, but it is a lot of information. But I'm really liking it. So I'm in the middle of watching some TV show and watching it kind of in between. But yeah, right now I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely not my favorite, but I'm really liking it. I think that right now the characters haven't all met yet. So I feel like once they all meet, it might change the dynamics a little bit, but I'm really enjoying it. So when I read a little bit more, I'll check back. Here, I'm back. It's just about 12:15 on Sunday. I actually got a lot of stuff done today, which is good because if you've been watching my previous reading vlogs, you know I've been battling just a bunch of little things like stomach viruses and being sick and all that other stuff. So I feel like I actually got a lot accomplished today. Like I finally left my house, which was good. I went to yoga. I got like an actual meal, which was nice. I tried on my dress for the wedding. And I did last night. I made a little bit more progress in Crazy Rich Asians, and I got up to page 132. But I had to put this book down, and not for any like terrible reason, but I realized that I'm on a blog tour for a book that I need to review on Friday, and it's a really, really short read. And I probably would have read this short earlier in when I was ill because it would have been like a 20-minute, like a 3-hour read for me. But it's called The Other Side of the Wall by Amy Ephron. And I'm actually in the middle of listening to her first book in the series, but from what I'm understanding, they're pretty much companion books, so they're all like connected, but you can read them individually. This one is set around Christmas time. It's set in England, and there's some ghostly elements that happen around Christmas. So it follows 2 characters, Tess and Max. Yeah, Tess and Max. And they meet this boy named Colin who may not be what they think he is. So I'm reading this, and it's only like not even 200 pages. And I'm on page 96. So I really think I can probably tackle this probably earlier today and then dive back into the Crazy Rich Asians. But I also wanted to get some Instagram stuff done, get some of my blog stuff prepped, and all that other fun stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to see how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling better or like still okay, I might wind up doing some crafting. But I am feeling a little bit tired right now. So we'll see when I'm done with all that R&D stuff, like how I'm feeling. I just have to remember to stay hydrated and all that other good stuff. So I am going to take some Instagram photos, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here I'm back. I did wind up doing some Instagram photos, and I'm still feeling okay. I wound up listening to a little bit of Castle in the Mist, which is the first book from in the Amy Efron series. So I'm really liking that. It's definitely a quick middle grade read. So I'm going to go work on one of my calendars and watch some Christmas movies, which I really like to do. And I will probably do that for a little bit. And then when I'm done, I'll come back and I'll let you guys know what my plans are for the rest of the day. They're probably going to involve a lot of reading and a lot of relaxing, so be prepared for that. Hi guys, Laurie here. I'm back. I just wanted to say that I did want to finishing The Other Side of the Wall by Amy Efron. The reason I had to read this so quickly was because I'm on a blog tour on Friday, and I knew that if I didn't read it now, I probably wouldn't have got a chance to read it, and I wanted to also fan cast it, so I like to at least go into a book knowing who the characters are. I found this book to be super fun. I definitely liked it. I think I am always someone that likes to read stuff in publication order, and I just ran out of time a little bit. So I'm definitely going to go back and read the first one and the second one, and then probably appreciate this one a little bit more. I thought the plot was just a little bit weird. Like, the plot was a little bit wonky to me at points, but I really did like the characters. I love the setting. This is definitely like a Christmas read, and you probably could read it by itself. This is the third book specifically in that series, but you could probably read it by itself and be okay. But I thought the character dynamics were really, really fun. I thought the mystery was really, really fun. I think the ending ended really abruptly. This is also like a really, really short book. It's not even 200 pages. And that sometimes hinders a book a bit because like everything has to be super rushed. But I did like it, and now I'm gonna go back to reading Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. And if I make any more progress tonight, I'll definitely update you guys. But yeah, I'm definitely heading back to work tomorrow, and I'm excited for that because I actually like my job and I miss my kids, and I was upset that I got sick for like all those fun days that I missed, like Halloween and stuff like that. So I'll check back in as the night goes on, and I'll definitely check in tomorrow when I come back from work. But right now, I'm on page 132. So let's see how far I can get before the rest of the evening. I'm here to end, well, the weekend part of this reading blog. I don't know how long it's going to go, but we'll see. It will definitely go until at least Tuesday. But I did want to say that I did make a little more progress on Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I'm now on page 178. I will say the first, let's see, 150 pages of this book was a lot of setup. So I'm really intrigued to see this part of the book because this is part 2. I don't know how many parts of this book are, but Rachel is officially in Singapore, and she's officially meeting Nick's family, which is the part of the book that I found the most intriguing. This book is very like information heavy. It's not only like very, very people heavy. Like there's a lot of cast of characters in this book, but there's also like a lot of information, and every single time you meet somebody, you get more information. There's also a lot of characters. You basically follow 2 to 3 characters right now. You follow Astrid and Michael, and then you follow Rachel and Nick, and then you follow like a couple of other people too, like Philip and Eleanor Young. So you follow a couple of different point of views, and I'm really enjoying them all. I think Rachel's probably my most interesting point of view because she's kind of an outsider into this world, and seeing it through her eyes is super interesting, and that's what I've always liked, especially when I watched or read Gossip Girls or A-List. I always like the books told from like an outsider's point of view because it's super interesting. But I hope to really be able to tackle most of this. There's at least a part 3. I'm hoping to tackle this maybe by the end of the week. It just depends on how much reading time I actually do have. But yeah, I'm liking it. It's just a lot of information and a lot of names. But I'm really liking the culture. I know that some people have been very critical and says that this is not like realistic, and some people have said it's super realistic. I'm just reading it because I heard it's a really interesting novel and I'm really enjoying it. But I could have taken a little bit less setup to get to this part of the book. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow and tell you guys where I'm at in my reading. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Lori here. I'm back. It is November 4th. Tomorrow is election day, which means I don't actually see my students tomorrow, which is exciting because a teacher always needs a break. But I will miss them, of course. But I did make a little bit of listening progress on Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which is the book for the Time Warp YA book club that I'm reading this month. And this is a reread for me, and I so love this story. It's a fairy tale retelling. This one is Cinderella, and I'm really enjoying it. And I did make a little bit more progress on Crazy Rich Asians, and it is 260. Ironically, today was picture day at school, so my book was kind of on the table as like the kids were getting their pictures taken. And a person who is familiar with this life, so this book is very realistic, so I found that super interesting. But I am liking this book. It's really, really fun. It's a lot of information, very like high society, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving all the perspectives that we're getting. I think it's a very, very captivating read. I think the standouts of this book are definitely Nicholas and Rachel, because they seem like, well, Rachel is like so like a modern day person, which I'm really enjoying, and Nick is just like so like he just is like, oh, I'm rich, I'm famous. Like that doesn't mean anything to Nick, and I really like them together. I'll be curious to see how they change throughout this book because they obviously have to change a little bit. And I also really like Astrid and Michael and their dynamics. And now we're flying back into the past a little bit for some of these characters, and I'm really liking that switch. But so far, I'm actually really liking it. I wouldn't say I'm flying through it, but I'm reading it very, very quickly. So I'm going to go back to reading. And if I make a little bit more progress, I'm now on page 260, which is like 60% done. I'm hoping to maybe crack 300 tonight, if not a little bit more. But when I make a little bit of progress, I'll be sure to update you guys. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. I'm just checking back in. I did wind up reading a little bit more of Crazy Rich Asians. I'm now on page 315. I think I'll definitely be able to finish this book by tomorrow. That's my plan. I really do like Rachel and Nick's part. I think that they're really interesting. We did get a lot of stuff with Astrid as well. And now her mother is kind of sharing more. But yeah, I'm really liking it. It's definitely not what I normally read, but I really do like learning more about this culture. How realistic it is, who really knows? But it definitely reminds me of when I would read Gossip Girls and like books like that, and like Devil Wears Prada, because it's very, very similar. So I'm gonna go watch some TV because I've fallen very far behind on my superhero shows, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Lori here. I'm just checking back in. It's a little bit later than normal, but I had a PD today. I didn't actually have to teach, but I had a PD and had to do some physical therapy for my knee. But I did want to say that I happily did get a lot of reading done today. I did wind up finishing Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. This book took a very unexpected twist at the end. There were a couple of like twists towards the end of this that I really enjoyed. I really think this world that they built is just so fascinating and really interesting. I really like the characters. I really liked the various point of views, but there was some point of views that didn't always like capture my attention. I was definitely more invested in Nick's, Rachel's, Astrid's, and Michael's point of views. Those were the four that I was really, really drawn into. I'm definitely going to read the second book. I just don't know when I'm going to get around to it. Give this a solid 4 stars. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought the diversity in it was really interesting, and I really loved, you can have, like, racism in any type of culture, whether it be this culture or any culture, and I just really like that. It was really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it. So I decided to dive into my next read, and that's going to be The Tyrant's Tomb by Rick Riordan, which is the 4th book in his Apollo series. I don't know where my cover is, but so yeah, that is what I plan to read. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done today because it's still pretty late. it's later than I normally start reading. But I will definitely read a little bit, and I'm going to watch some booktube videos because they're piling up. And I'll definitely update you guys. I'm warning you guys, I'm still recovering from being sick. I physically feel okay, but I'm just really tired, and that's more because for the 4 days I really did absolutely nothing. So I'm just getting over the fact that I'm like, I'm just tired, more tired than I normally am. So I don't know. I went to bed really, really early yesterday. I think I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock. So, but that was my first day back teaching. So, I'm going to read a little bit, and then I'm probably going to probably head to bed a little bit earlier. But I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Just checking back in. I did wind up reading a little bit of The Tyrant's Tomb. I'm now on page 20. I will say this. The last book in this series, The Burning Maze, ended on like a massive, I wouldn't say it was a cliffhanger, but something really unexpected happened in this book. So this book is dealing with the aftermath of this book, of the aftermath of that book. I'm really liking that so far. Also, what this series has done is that you come to this series with 2 series as your back history. So you come with The Lightning Thief, and then you come with the Heroes of Olympus series. And the Heroes of Olympus series had a bunch of different characters. So each book in this series, we've kind of met different characters. So this time we're going back to Camp Jupiter for a very, very specific reason. I've always really liked this series. I think that Apollo is such a unique character. Basically, the premise of the first book is that the god Apollo gets sent back down to Earth to be in the body of a demigod, because he made Zeus really, really unhappy. And now they're trying to save the world because all the oracles are being controlled by this small group of people that are really, really evil. And in every book, you encounter these other characters, so that really, really propels the story forward. But this book, like, really, I'm really expecting it to be really intense because of what happened in the previous book. But it's definitely a fast-paced read. I really do like this story, and I'm really excited that I'm finally getting up to date on it because I always leave these to, like, the last minute. But yeah, so far I'm really liking it, and I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I think I'm actually going to wind up ending this reading vlog tonight, but I'm probably going to do a few updates before I end it because tomorrow I won't be able to update because it's parent-teacher conferences, so I'll probably start this reading vlog Friday. But I just wanted to say that I did make a bit of progress on The Tyrant's Tomb. I'm now on page 88. As I said, my sleeping schedule has been a bit off, so I've been sleeping very well, but like falling asleep really early, so I've been waking up really early in the morning, which is like not what I like to do. But I did make a little bit more progress on this, and I am going to talk spoilers for like 2 minutes. So if you have not read this series or have an interest of reading the Hidden Oracle series by Rick Riordan, just skip ahead until you see me going like this. And then I'll be done spoiling spoilers. But the one thing I really like that happened at the end of The Burning Maze is that one of the characters died. And I am going to say the name, so shoot. But one of the characters died. Jason died. So I thought it was really interesting to now see the aftermath of that because no character has ever really died in one of these books, like a main character. And I think that I'm really expecting this book to be a very, very intense read. I'm also really liking that we have changed settings. We're going back to Camp Jupiter. And as I've said in like a previous clip, this world is so vast. We have so many new characters that it's really nice as they're like in this world overall to see them throughout like the books. And I really am enjoying that. But I'm definitely liking these characters a lot. So you guys can come back now. Come back. But yeah, so I'm going to go read, hopefully make a little bit of progress, and then I'll check back in. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, Lori here. I'm here to actually wrap up this reading vlog. I will be back on Friday when I have a 3-day weekend to share all my reading plans. Just wanted to say that I did wind up making about 115 pages of progress in The Tyrant's Tomb by Rick Riordan. I am going to try to read a little bit more tonight, but my head is bothering me, and tomorrow is parent-teacher conferences, so I want to be able to relax a little bit. But this was a nice long reading vlog, and I will definitely have a longer reading vlog for you guys over the weekend when I'm off. Hopefully by the time you see me, I will have made a little bit more progress on this book. But I will talk to you guys next week for another reading vlog. Bye!